Hey guys, welcome back to Giving Unbothered, the podcast. Sorry, I can't stop laughing. Before we started talking, Alana was just talking rubbish.
Come on, what was I saying, Yoko?
Alana thinks...
Okay, think is an overstatement.
You literally made it a statement. Okay, I was saying, you know when you wear like denim jeans? Yeah. It's quite awkward, isn't it, when you actually have to say that for the public. So when you wear like denim jeans and you know when like it gets high up in you, how do you explain
that? Gets all
that?
up in your business.
And Alana said sometimes that feels good if it rubs your vagina.
No. If it rubs in the right places, sometimes it's not the worst feeling. After a while, it does get a bit too intense. You know, denim isn't the best feeling, but for a hot minute, Moving on into the episode.
Oh, great. Well, what are we talking about today, Lance? Because I feel like I've done a lot of yapping in the last few episodes. So
I know, I can never get a fucking word in. It's actually the other way around. I feel like I talk so much shit. We actually put on our Instagram story a few things. No, that's a lie. We didn't. This is why I don't talk, because we did put on a few things.
It's funny because you try to be so serious as well.
It's because I've still got in my head about the rubbish.
Okay, let me explain it. We posted on our Instagram story a question asking you guys what you want us to talk about in the next few episodes. And we got in quite a few responses.
They're all quite different,
yeah,
which I liked.
So we'll be answering your questions today, which is exciting and fun.
Very exciting. I feel like you have them. Oh, I have them as well. We both have the Instagram. This is literally because I let you just handle everything. I forget that I can actually have access to things myself.
Well, you actually handle the social media. Also, in case you wonder, Alana is the one, because Alana is so creative with like comments. So she's the one in charge behind all the replies to your comments.
Whenever we try to like caption videos or TikToks or comments and stuff, like Yolka says something and I try not to shoot her down because, you know, we need to support. But then you just go... Or we could, to touch on that.
Anyway, we'll dive into the episode because we can yap away for ages.
So the first question we've got is, how do you get over internalized homophobia when you start to date women? Do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
You can go ahead. I know you like starting.
I do, but I was going to give you the opportunity. I don't know. I feel like I really struggled with internalized homophobia to start with without realising it. Like, do you know when it's always, when you look back, you can recognise it?
Yeah.
Like, at the time, I probably was just like, what? No, how can I be homophobic? I'm gay. I didn't experience it in, like, a self-hatred kind of way, because I feel like a lot of people, when they are coming out or realising that they like the same sex or they're a different sexuality to what, like, the society brings you up to be, I feel like a lot of people really hate themselves for it.
Yeah.
I never had that, to be honest. I feel like I've always been quite of like a forward person, that if I feel something, I'm like, well, how is that wrong? But I did have it with other people. So like when I would date women, or like I'd even speak to girls, I would have the mindset of like, you're not going to want to stay with me, or you're not going to want to be with me forever because you're going to end up with a guy. Even if they were a lesbian and like they've said, I am fully gay, as was I wouldn't believe it, because in my head you get brought up to like, women are going to be with men, blah 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 blah, and I feel like it kind of fucks your trust with people.
Yeah,
you know. And I feel like it just took a while, and I feel like it took being in like a long-term relationship to realise that. I feel like it just edges its way out. Also depends on who you have around you though. Like I think if I had a toxic household environment or my family were assholes, then it would be a struggle. And like the family that I live with, like my parents and my sister, well, she's no longer here, bitch, but like your close family, not so much your extended, I feel like that really helps you. Same with friends. Like I know we've both said that having friends in the community, or that even just listen to you, like even if they're straight, if they let you use them as a space to talk about things, because being gay and being straight, you deal with very different things.
No, definitely. And I think as well, like if you're surrounded by like straight people, which I mean everyone is, but if like your closest group of friends are just straight people, if all they do is like, oh yeah, but it's a phase, or like, oh yeah, that's fine, but because sometimes like I was there at the beginning before I met you guys. I was very much surrounded by just like straight people, and that's when I started like figuring out my sexuality, and everyone was just like, yeah, okay, you can experiment, but like we know you're gonna end up with a guy.
Yeah, it's not taken seriously.
No, and I think like that's why it's so important to find people in the community, because they go through the same stuff that you go through.
Yeah.
And also like to go back to like family and stuff, I think it also really depends on like your upbringing and so many factors, like religion, like how religious your family is, the mindset they have, the town you grow up in, because some of the towns are so close-minded.
Not even so much small towns anymore. Like, I feel like it's actually low-key, maybe not necessarily just for gay people, but for the community in general, I feel like it's getting worse.
Yeah, over the last couple of months especially, I don't know what, I feel like we're in a weird time in life, and I can't say what it is, but the energy and the things that are happening in the world right now, very weird. But I don't want to get into that to derail from the internalized homophobia, because I can yap away about
we'll
that.
Do a whole other ep on that. But yeah, I think it's just, it's one of those things that no one can tell you how to get over it. Like, no, like literally no one can. It's different for everyone.
Yeah.
I think you just need to realise that it's your truth. You can feel that way, and so can other people. And I think it's a hard question. Like, I wish I had like a set answer of like, if you do this or have this mindset, you can get over it. But it's really not. I think it's just a process of like self-acceptance.
Yeah, and I think like everyone deals with it differently because it shows up in different ways for everyone. Just be gentle on yourself and give yourself time, and surround yourself with people that listen to you, support you, and it doesn't have to be people from the community, but people who understand your journey and are there to support you wherever you are on your journey. I think like those are the biggest things you can do, and most of all, don't judge yourself, because we're all the biggest critics of ourselves.
And also with the whole like internalized homophobia thing, because I know that someone's asked me before like how that works, because they're like, if you're gay, how can you be homophobic? Which I get the concept. I feel like if I was straight, I'd probably have the same mindset, because it technically doesn't make sense. But like there's the phrase, and it's like the more you protest, the more that you are something. So it's like the people that are the most homophobic probably inside are the most gay.
Because you're trying to deny things, and usually it's like out of trying to validate it to yourself of like why you shouldn't.
Yeah, same reason as like people bully people or hate on people because they're jealous of them. Like it's the same concept.
Yeah, projecting.
So
moving on from the internalized homophobia, I feel like most of the questions are kind of connected to all of them. They all have to do with obviously dating and loving women, which we love. How did you figure out your feelings for girls were real and not just curiosity? I feel like we kind of touched on that in our individual stories. We have like 2 episodes where we talk about how we figured out we are into women. But how did you figure that difference out? If you can't stop daydreaming about women. You know, wait, okay, sorry, I literally just like cut you off. I was just getting excited. I'm like, yeah, you can go talk.
Yeah, but
I saw a TikTok today, and it's actually so true. It's like, if you are thinking about whether you like women or not, that's already a sign, because straight people don't even consider that thought.
No.
I agree. Like,
I think even if it's to a certain extent, you're a little bit fruity.
Yeah, I mean, I think like everyone, especially I think now these days, because it's so more open and like people are more open to like exploring that as well and seeing like what it means to them. But I think there are like little signs you can pick up on that it's more you're into women than just the curiosity of sleeping with a girl.
I was gonna say, because I used to have the mindset, or like if someone asked me that question, I'd be like, well, do you want to be them or do you want to sleep with them? And I was like, if you want to sleep with them, then babe, you're probably gay. But at the same time, I personally know a lot of people, like, not really close to me, but I just know people that have slept with women or would sleep with women but wouldn't end up with a woman. And like, I don't judge that either. Like I've said before, like I think sex is very fluid. I think sex is sex. And like I know like women that are predominantly more for women, but they always go like, I'd sleep with a man again, but I don't have the emotional connection. So I feel like, you know, just because you sleep with a woman doesn't mean that you could be emotionally with a woman. But I do feel like it just, if you don't get, it's gonna sound so gay, it's gonna sound so cringe. When I'm speaking to a guy, he could be the hottest guy alive, like the hottest bitch ever, but like I would never feel that like nervousness or like, you know, and like not the butterflies, because we've established the butterflies aren't good, but you know when you feel yourself just a bit like giddy, or like you want to
weak in
like,
the knees.
A bit weak in the knees.
Disney knees.
Yeah.
When you feel like you have Disney knees for a moment.
Yeah, the Disney knees mean that you've got the feels. I think that's when you know if it's more like, how do I know if I'm emotionally interested in women?
I get that though, but then I can also imagine if it's something so new that you feel a bit nervous anyway.
Personally, I feel like it's different. Like, I can sense a difference between nerves and interest. Like, when I'm nervous, I want to throw up or shit myself. If I see a hot woman, I'm not, well... I guess it depends how hot they are.
I would still throw up out of nerves.
I was going to go, I would still shit myself. I was like, what?
No, I would throw up. I'd be like, oh, she's hot. Help me.
Disgusting. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, you're kind of right. I feel like it's hard to
I think it's hard to draw the line of like, is it nerves out of interest or nerves out of because it's something new, especially if you haven't done anything like it. If you've never put yourself in a position and it's so new, it is quite nerve-wracking.
I feel like just try it. I feel like if you're open enough to say to someone, like, even if you're going on a date with a woman, if you just say like, I think I'm curious, I think that I think I might be, but I'm not sure, like, if someone messaged me or like someone showed interest in me and they were very open and was like, this is how I feel, that wouldn't necessarily, it wouldn't put me off if they were honest about it. Whereas I think it's more frustrating when it's straight women that are curious or want to sleep with a woman and they kind of lead you on or act like it's a fetish. That's the issue. Like, there's nothing wrong with being curious and being honest about wanting to figure that out.
No, and that's one thing we've said on the podcast before as well. Just always be honest about your intentions or where you are at this point, because then you can't really fuck up.
Yeah.
Because then the other person that's involved knows like, oh, I am the first woman she's going on a date with. I am, you know, like, just always be open and honest, because then they don't have anything to blame you for, because they know.
I'm not being funny. Everyone started somewhere on their little gay journey. Genuinely. Do you know what I mean? It's just the same as like when you're younger and you're dating a guy, and it's like when everyone loses their virginity. Like, everyone does that at different paces. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why the whole like gay thing, if you come out a bit later or if you have less experience, people act like you're lying. And it's like, no, it's just different journeys.
The only way to really find that out is to jump in the pool.
Jump in the deep end.
Jump in and then just...
And drown. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not fun.
No, but like, jump in, be honest along the way to whoever you're seeing or like talking to, and then eventually you'll figure that out for yourself. Go date women.
Don't date women. They suck. They're stressful.
It's heartbreaking though.
I saw a TikTok and it was like, yeah, I'm happier since dating women, but am I more insane? Yes. And I'm like, it's true. Like, dating women does make me happier. I feel like I'm going psycho. But yeah, it does. It makes you fucking crazy.
Yeah, it does.
Next question. Kind of linked. Mm-hmm. I feel like. Keep them linked and then we'll go to the separate questions. Okay. How do you define what is a friend and not a friend between girls? Okay, I would love to speak on this, but I feel like these bitches are going to be like, well, you and Youre are clearly fucking, so you guys can't speak about it.
I didn't even think about that.
No, I know, because everyone thinks that me and Youre are secretly dating and not telling any of you guys.
Let me say this one final time. We are not.
Emphasis.
Capital.
On not.
Not.
I don't know what else we can do to...
It's gotten so bad that, like, people even around us are questioning us.
And it's like, guys, we've like, do you know what night it's out when you were like kiss your friends? Like, we don't even do that.
No.
Like, do you know when it's like we aren't? People honestly act like we fuck in the middle of a club, and I'm just like,
It goes just to like cuddles and hugs. That's it.
And that's just because we're both lonely.
Lonely and single.
It's coming from a source of loneliness. If I had a girlfriend, Youre could be sleeping on the floor. I'm joking.
No, she's not, actually.
But I think, because it's the whole thing, isn't it? Like, do you know, especially in, like, the lesbian world, I think it's so normal that people fuck their friends or kiss their friends. In my opinion, if hypothetically, if Yelka was to come on to me...
Why hypothetically it's me coming on to you? Why not the other way around?
Okay, fine. Hypothetically, if I came on to you...
Yes, continue.
Exactly,
this is why.
Even though everyone always thinks that you're into me and not the other way around. Me and Yelka were speaking the other day. She got so annoyed. Because people always assume that Yelka likes me. And it's never the other way around. And she was like, why does everyone think that I'm just interested in you and you're not interested in me? And I was like, well, Yelka, none of it's true. I was like, so you don't need to get upset about it. This is one of the...
No, but then I'm like, what do I do that people think it's me?
I think it's just because you're sweeter than I am.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you'll come up to hug me and I'll be like, fuck off.
And I'll be like, no, please hug me.
Please hug me. But that's why everyone thinks that we're a couple. So if I came on to you, Yelka, and Yelka would then kiss me, to me, that's like, you guys were never friends. Like, I can hand on heart say that if any of my friends made any sort of move on me, I would genuinely want to elbow them in the vagina. Like, that would not fly.
Vagina.
But as well, my friends are so short as well, so that'd be really hunchy. I think then, like, okay, well, you don't fully only view them as a friend.
Yeah, that must have been like some underlying...
You've got some kind of crush on them if you would get with them.
Yeah, I feel like there will be small things you probably can pick up on. Like, for us, for example, and that's also one of the things I always say when people ask us, like, are you guys involved with each other? I'm like, we're so involved in each other's dating life.
Yeah,
like,
we help each other with Hinge.
Yeah, like... I'm sure that if one of us would have feelings, there would be like some type of jealousy or like some type of like not support, you know?
You could pick up on it.
Yeah, you would pick up on that. So I think read body language, read like the small signs that someone, how they're acting around you.
Yeah, you can tell.
In the end, I believe in open communication. So it might not be a fun conversation, but if you do genuinely think that someone might feel more for you,
then say it for sure.
Have a conversation.
Because I feel like that would just eat you up inside. Like, I feel like if you mentioned it before you were like deeply in love with them and it was just like a little fancy, if you brought it up to them and they say don't really feel the same, you can kind of go back on that. Like, wait, if you get to the point of you're actually in love with them and they reject you, you can't really just fall out of love with them. Yeah. But if it's just a crush, as soon as I realise that someone doesn't fancy me, the crush goes, because I don't have a thing for things that aren't accessible to me. Like, do you know some people love what they can't get? The chase. That does not appeal. That bores me so much. I'm not running. Yeah. I'm not, no.
But I also think, like, to go back on the dynamic thing, it changes the dynamic of a friendship if you don't have the conversation, because then if you are the one who thinks your friend might potentially have feelings for you, you will start reading things differently, you know, because you create this thing in your mind and then they might not mean it that way, but you have already set this intention for yourself that they might like you. So then you're going to see their behavior in a different way than what they actually probably mean. And also the other way around. Like, it just not get confused. Genuinely just talk.
People really deep things too much. Like, people don't just say things anymore. Like, everything is just so secret and everyone like bottles in their feelings. I'm like, why are we just not open, like, at all?
Yeah, but I must say that, and that's something I struggle with as well, because I'm not like a massive flirt, and we all know that.
Yeah, we know that.
It's hard if you're not massive flirts. I'm not someone who's bold in like behavior or saying things. I'm not. Like, I'm just like, let's talk about the stars and the universe, and your star sign.
Yeah, that's the conversation that Yelka's got to give.
But what I wanted to say, if you are on a date with someone and it's hard for you to know whether they view you just as friends, and I'm saying this advice because it's something I'm trying to work on whenever I'll go back on a date. Mm-hmm. Try to be bold and see what the response is. Yeah. If you're not like flirty, like have a little flirt, or like body language. Like we've said this before, you know, like the hand on the arm, like the touchiness. Yeah, I'm quite cold. But because obviously, as much as you can say like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if my friend might have feelings for me, it's the same as like going on a date. If, like, is it just friends vibes, or is there potentially something romantic underneath?
Yeah.
Because I friend zone myself. We've said this many times, because I don't flirt, because I struggle to flirt.
But also I like, and you've said this about someone that you've went on a date with before, it's really nice when someone actually just says that they're interested in you and are just like, I'm having a really good time. Like, do you know, like, I think people think that's cringe. If I was on a date with someone and I was having a nice time, I would just be like, I'm really like having fun with you.
Yeah, but then with that, oh, and this actually leads perfectly into our next question, because I remember that this one came up. I think people are scared to do that, including me. Fear of rejection.
Yes.
You fear to be rejected by the other person. What if you open up and you're like, I'm really into you, and the other person says, actually, I was never really into you that much. The fear of rejection, and we all deal with it, we all have gone through it, it's painful.
If someone says like, you're not really my type, or I don't feel that way, okay?
Yeah.
Like, that genuinely, okay. Like, what? Is now that the end of your life? Like, are you not going to find anyone anymore? Like,
No.
You were it for me. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I get it more with, like, I get low-key a little bit of social anxiety. So if I'm out in public and, like, it's different, isn't it? I feel like if it's in person and there's a group of people around, it's more embarrassing to get publicly humiliated, for sure. I get that. But it's not the rejection that's scary. It's more just, like, everyone else seeing you get rejected. But it's not that big of a deal.
No, and I think as well, because obviously you can be rejected straight away, but you can also have rejection coming up down the line after a while.
Yeah.
But one thing we always keep saying to each other whenever we go through something like that is, whatever you felt with that person and whatever you think they brought to your life, that still exists in someone else that does want to give it a shot.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like, that person isn't the only person that can give you all of that or can make you feel that way.
And I will say, like, what you just said about it can be a straight up rejection, like, instantly, no, like, you aren't my type, I don't find you attractive, or this or that. Like, fine. Like, me and Yelko, like, we sometimes find different people attractive. Like, and I could think someone's the most attractive person ever, and Yelko could look at them and be like,
yeah, we all have, like,
don't see
different
it. So,
preferences.
Like, you can't let the rejection make you think that you're disgusting or ugly, because, like, I have really struggled with that in the past. Like, if someone has rejected me or has found one of my friends attractive and, like, not me, or I'm not that type, I would literally think that I am the thummiest looking person alive. And it's just like, that's not normal, and that's not true. It does hurt more though, doesn't it? Like, it does hurt more.
It's a bit of like a punch in the ego sometimes.
Yeah, like that. But, like, I think that your ego isn't real. Do you know what I mean? Your ego is just your brain thinking it's the best bitch ever. You know what?
You are.
So as it should. But it does hurt more when it's done later down the line, because then you can then think like, fuck, is it? It's not my face, it's my personality. Because have you seen the videos and stuff, and it's like, stop posting on your story, like, when you go for a breakup. Like, they know that you're hot. It's not because you're ugly they broke up with you, it's because you're fucking crazy. Like, it's your personality that's the problem, babe.
But even for that, there will be someone that can appreciate your craziness eventually, somewhere.
It's just people like different things, don't they? Like, there are so many people, and we've spoke about this before, that say, like, for me, that thrive and love sarcastic people, and there are other people that think it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
And, like, whatever you are, you are gonna be someone's, like, most ideal perfect person.
Yeah.
But, like, that's not if everyone was everyone's type, we'd all be fucking the same people.
Yeah, that would be weird.
That's weird. Do you remember I asked you this question before when we was on holiday, and I was like, what would you prefer, to be with someone that you find attractive, but just, like, attractive, like, you'd still find, like, loads of people attractive, but everyone else thought that they were, like, God's gift, like, phenomenal, or with someone that you thought was honestly the best thing alive, but everyone else, like, just didn't see it whatsoever? And it's true, because you'd want to be with someone that you find attractive.
Yeah, you're not in a relationship for other people.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, that's your relationship, it's your life, it's your connection, and it's your happiness down the line. To go back to the thing of, like, if they reject you and that makes you feel some kind of way about yourself, then question yourself, like, what was it in this connection that I wanted to be validated in? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What about me needs the validation from this other person? Because then very often it has more to do with you than the actual person rejecting the relationship with you.
I feel like it comes from like your insecurities, doesn't it? Because like when someone's rejected me before, they've never told me why. They've just obviously like you can pick up on a subtle rejection.
Yeah.
I've realized so many of my insecurities through rejections, because if someone says they don't like me in that way or they don't find me attractive, my brain will list off things that I don't like about myself, and it's like I think that that's the reasons they don't like me. So like I have an insecurity, and it's probably my biggest one, and I will straight away assume that they see what I see with that, and it kind of makes me realize like, okay, well, I need to work on that, because they probably haven't even noticed what that was.
No.
If you guys have, then that makes me very upset. But yeah.
No, exactly. And think about it. Every rejection is genuinely a redirection. And honestly, you're only really gonna find someone that sees you once you start seeing yourself for who you are.
Touché.
So accept yourself in its full. And what's the saying? Let your cup overflow of love, or like something like that. There's some cute quotes.
Isn't it just like let your cup? It's something about your cup being full and then letting them fall in love with the overflow.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's Harry Styles that said that.
Oh.
You just quoted Harry Styles.
I wasn't trying to quote Harry Styles. Wait, what?
I think you just
I'm not even a massive Harry Styles fan. I'm so confused.
That was Mr. Styles.
Thank you, Harry.
What a king. I love him.
Thank you. But yeah, I think it's hard to deal with rejection, but it's redirection. And it truly is like that. How cliche it might be, down the line you'll understand why things didn't work out. And you'll be grateful as to why they didn't work out with certain people. And sometimes you're dodging a bullet. Let me tell you that.
Oh, for sure.
So
for sure.
Let whatever is going on, let it flow, let it go.
Yeah, don't grab onto things. I feel like that's such a big thing. And have you seen all of my inspiration and mind things come from like TikTok, and it's like everything
shows your generation.
Brain rot. It's like everything that I've let go of have had like claw marks in. Have you seen that video?
No.
And like,
I'm just saying
no. And I think apart from like before last year, I could really relate to that, because I feel like I would not let it could be the most unhealthiest thing ever, but best believe I was grasping onto that shit like nobody's business.
Yeah, but that also has to do with like not being comfortable with change in your life.
And like being comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, that's connected to so many more things that could be a whole deep dive, guys.
Yeah.
Well, those were the questions we got in from you guys. And please send us more questions if you want us to answer for like next few episodes.
Yeah.
We would love to hear what you guys want us to talk about. So if you have any specific questions, message us on Instagram. But we're moving on to a little Would You Rather game. I feel like it's been a while since we've done like a little game.
With just us two, yeah.
Yeah.
In general, actually.
Yeah. Would you rather have your ex and your current situationship become best friends or roommates?
Roommates. Because if they're your best friends, like roommates, my mind went to like, they're going to see each other naked and things. But I mean, best friends do that. Or like in your underwear, I feel like that's quite a normal thing. And I'm hoping if they're roommates...
But they live together, access to each other 24/7.
Yeah, but like if anyone lived with me 24/7, they'd be put off. So I'm hoping they'll just be put off.
I don't know though.
No, I'm sticking with roommates. I am. What are you choosing? I take it you're sticking with best friends.
I was thinking best friends because I'm like, they don't have that access to each other 24/7. And also like,
we're best friends and we technically live together.
No, yeah, but like, we live together in a small space because like we don't actually live together. But if we were to live together, like you'll always be in the same space. Like if you go see if you go stay with them, then you have them there as well always. Whereas so like if they're best friends, you can still have like one-on-one time in your own space. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it was their situationship.
Yeah. Wait, was it their situationship or your ex and your current situationship?
Oh, well, that changes the game. Oh, wait. Yeah, no, I don't know now. My current situationship. So it'd be like my situationship living with you.
I'm not your ex.
Oh, yeah, it's not best friend, it's your ex.
Lars, this is why we can't get rid of them.
Oh, my God. No, I'm struggling. Okay, so
your ex and your current situationship.
Oh, in that case, my mind has completely changed. Yeah, I don't want them living together because then, yeah, no, best friends.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, you want your ex and your situationship to have access to each other 24/7.
I don't know what road I was going down.
And like,
yeah, best friends, because I wouldn't want to see my ex every time I wanted to fuck. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
We got there eventually. I was actually first proud. I was like, we have a different opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree.
No, never mind.
In the dark. Fine.
Yeah,
okay, fine.
Best friends.
I hate this word.
Oh no.
So much, but it's the only word to use. Would you rather never have oral sex again or only have oral sex forever? Ooh.
Ooh. I don't know. Why are you crying?
I'm like, oh my God, it's been so long.
Oh. I found that a hard one.
Say it on 3.
Wait, so never have oral sex?
Never or always? 1, 2, 3, never.
Always. You would never want to have oral sex again.
Well, I don't...
Are you going to change your mind again?
No, I'm not changing my mind. It depends. Is it receiving or giving? Because if it was giving, I would say always. But if it was receiving, then I would say never.
Oh. You prefer never over always?
If it was receiving, yeah.
Wait, was the question receiving or giving, or it didn't specify?
It didn't specify. So if it's giving, I'm saying oral sex always. But if it's receiving, then oral sex never.
Oh, wow.
Because I feel like it's quite easy to suck at that. I know I'm good.
On that note, we're going to the next question. I'm not even going to say anything more to that. Would you rather have a hookup cry after sex because it's reminded her of her ex? So you reminded her of her ex.
And they've cried.
And they've cried because of that? Or call you by your ex's name while cuddling? Well,
call me their ex's name.
Yeah. They're both like a punch in the ego. It's like, do you want them to cry or do you want to be called their ex's name?
I'd rather than just call me a name because if I've literally been inside of you and you've started sobbing because like that, I feel like that's just like another level of like...
No, literally.
You know?
Like crying.
Like, I guess if you're cuddling and they're just used to being in that scenario with obviously I wouldn't see them again, but like I can kind of grasp that more, whereas like I've just slept with you and now you're sobbing in my bed, fanning out.
Have you ever had someone sob in your bed?
No.
Have you ever sobbed in someone's bed?
In the bathroom afterwards, but not in the bed.
Stop.
Kept composure.
So I kept it together. Be like, I need to pee.
Like, hi, I'm just gonna wee. Have you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I actually know this. You said this on an episode before.
Yeah, I have. But that was a combination and mix of things. So,
would you rather accidentally send a thirst trap to your crush's mum or your own mum?
Own mum.
Would you?
Yeah.
What level is this thirst trap, though?
Is it a nude? Like a very...
Let's say it's an underwear, but quite like... Look, your face is in it. It's a bit of a...
Oh, my mom.
Alright, incest.
No, but it's like... Because then I can still justify that. My crush's mom.
Yeah, you can't
Excuse me, especially like... Imagine if you've never met in person yet, and then you send... I mean, it would be weird having the phone number of your crush's mom without having met. But still, though, that's... Because they obviously know that wasn't meant for that. Like, your mom as well, but, like, you came naked out of your mom. You know what? Like...
Yeah, but, I mean, not in some sultry lingerie with your fan hanging out. But I get the vision.
Would you rather send it to your crush's mom?
Oh, my God, but the thought of my mum seeing me, like, trying to be all sexy for someone that's a bit sick. I think it depends. Like, my ex's mum, one of them, she was a cool mum. And, like... if it was like someone like that, I would be like fine, because I feel like the girls that get it. I feel like she'd be like slay, you know. But if it was my mom, I don't know.
I mean, my mom would definitely be like, what the fuck? But I would feel less... I don't know.
I'm saying crush his mum.
Wow.
Yeah. Claire doesn't need to see that.
Very bold. Okay, next one. Would you rather accidentally moan your ex's name mid-hookup or they moan their ex's name?
Them moan their ex's name.
Yeah.
Because then they can't go to their friends and be like, oh my god, Alana's just moaned her ex's name. Like, they're going to go to their friends and be like, oh my god, I've just moaned,
Actually,
you know?
I didn't even think about that. That's a good one.
Yeah, I don't want to be the bitch moaning someone else's name, because then, like, you're the one that's in the shit.
Yeah. I'll take the same one.
Yeah.
Them moaning.
Because I feel like, obviously, it would still be a punch to the stomach, especially if you was, like, feeling them. If it was just, like, a hookup.
You were feeling them. I mean, if you're hooking up, you're most likely feeling them.
Would you rather go on a first date that turns into a 3-day date in your U-Haul, jumping into the deep end, which we love to do, or a year-long situationship, and for that year there's zero clarity? So I guess you could do something else. Are you already trying to jump in to say U-Haul?
U-Haul!
Yeah, me too.
That is so obvious.
I mean, yeah, although, like, because if you was going to be in a relationship after the year... Yeah, no.
But you have to survive a whole year of no clarity.
No.
I go crazy after a few months.
Yeah, I can't do that. Fine, yeah. Date, U-Haul.
God,
Easy.
I want spicy questions that we can debate on, but we have the same brain, so...
Although I just feel like that question's very lesbian. Like, if a lesbian said a year-long situationship, I would just be like...
No, that's true.
Very imposter of you.
Avoidance. And on that note...
That's all the questions. My cup of coffee's cold.
This is the end of the episode. We're going to enjoy the sun, but I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Oh, the grunt.
Boy's ready for a nap.
He is.
Bye, guys.
Well, that's it for this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I'm not really that sorry. But come back next week.
If you enjoyed watching or listening, don't forget to rate our show and please follow or subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.